Hello everyone and welcome. I'm really excited today because I'm going to be covering quite a lot of tips and tricks on how to use Divi effectively, even if you're a beginner. So even if you use Divi for quite a while, you're going to notice that some of the tips I'm going to be sharing are going to be tips that are going to enhance your workflow. So what I've got here is a Divi installed website. So I haven't done much on it. It's just pretty a basic install. So what I'm going to do is to log in and show you all the tips and tricks and how to get started if you are brand new. So along this is a live workshop, so you can ask me any questions, and already I can see there's quite a few who are logged in. This is pretty cool. Hello, Alex. We also have Michael. Good to see you both. So what I'm going to do quickly now is to log in. So I've already created this site as I mentioned. So this is going to be my username and password. So in a moment, I'm going to show you how you get started. So as you can see, this is WordPress 6.0 and I have Divi installed. So the very first thing you need to do when you start working with Divi is to go right into the theme builder, because this is where you can get your basic structure set up. So you want to have your header and footer all sorted out. We also have Carl here. Good to see you, Carl. Eddie, good to see you as well. That's awesome. All right. So as I mentioned, we need to start working with the theme builder. So to access the theme builder, you need to come over here, right at the bottom here, okay, and click on theme builder. So this is where you get to get your access to your header, footer, and some of your pages. So what I'm going to do quickly here is to open this in a new tab so you can see that this is a site which has no footer and there's no header here. All right, so the first thing you want to do is to start off with your footer. And this is going to be global, which means you're going to save a lot of time when it comes to designing your website. All right, so let's come over here to our global footer. And I'm going to say build global footer. Okay, so looks like we have a problem here. Let me just load up this page. And you know, sometimes all this happens when I'm doing a live show. This is pretty funny. All right. All right, I can see quite a lot of you are tuning in here, which is pretty awesome. That's fantastic. It's been a while since I did a live show, so hopefully this one here is going to go on really well. Okay, let's go back into our theme builder here. And okay, it's working now. So I've just said add from library here. So I'm just going to look for a footer here. I'm just going to cheat a little bit because I don't want to spend so much time creating all this from scratch. All right, so let's take a look here and see what footers we have. Oh, I like this footer. I think this is the type of footer where I can go in and customize. So you've noticed what I've just done here. I've went into the theme builder and then went into our pre-made layouts. Now, these are absolutely free when you use Divi. So I'm cheating a little bit, and then I'm going to customize the footer here. Okay, so over here, you can see I have my layout. So I want to say use this layout. But obviously, this is a full page. We can't use a full page on our footer design. So what we're going to do now is I'm just going to say use this layout. Oops, something is happening here. I'm just going to refresh this page. I don't know why this happens. And by the way, while I'm doing this, you can also send me some messages over here if you have any questions, and I'll respond to them as we design this live. Okay. So we're back here to our library. Let's just try this one more time. Right, looks like my internet is quite slow. I'm not getting this to download as quick as I wanted to. So you can see here it's at 80%, but it is working. All right, so in a moment, we're going to be able to go in and start customizing our footer for our whole website. Now, let me just remind you quickly what this looks like. This is what we have so far, okay? So we want to change this to a brand new footer, which covers the whole website. Okay, it looks like our footer has been loaded in. Now, once you've added in your footer, the next step now is to click on this pencil icon, and this now takes you into the actual builder. This is where we're going to be making all our customizations to make our footer look the way we want. Okay, so we're almost there. I can see here There we go. So this here is actually the footer. If you take a look here at the top, it says global footer layout. But really, this is a full page, right? As you can see. So what we're going to do now is we're going to delete all the sections that we don't need. So to quickly do this, I'm just going to come over here to expand settings. Next, I'm going to come over here to my layers. Hopefully you can see this on my screen here. This just allows me to delete things very, very fast. So I'm just using my layers here. So now I can go in and just delete, 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 until I just have my footer, which is brilliant. Now, I don't need this anymore, so I'm going to get rid of it. Now, let's go in and customize our footer. Now, I don't want this background here, so I'm just going to go into my section settings, background, and I'm just going to find the image, and here it is. Boom, image is gone. I don't need that. And then over here on the gradient, I need a solid color, so let's go ahead and add our color just like that. Boom. So now we have our brand new footer. Now we can further customize this by rearranging all these things that we have here. So if I go over here now to my row settings, notice what happens. I can just drag this. Let's say I want my form over to the right. Boom, just like that. My form is over there to the right. And now I can save this one more time. Now I'm going to close out of here and save changes. So remember, this is how our website looked like. Take a look here and see what happens now when I refresh this page. Just like that, I've refreshed my page and now we have a footer. Okay, so that's your starting point. So any questions so far, you can ask me in the comments box and I'll do my best to respond to them as I'm working on this. So as you can see, this was quick. I've managed to go in and set my footer. Later on, I can go in and start changing all my colors. Okay, so the next step now is to start creating all our pages. In fact, we can even go to our header. So let's create our menu first. All right, so to create our menu, we have to create our pages first. So come over here to all pages. So you can see here we have sample page, privacy policy, and so on. In fact, I can just get rid of all of these because I don't need them. Move to trash, hit apply. So the very first page we're going to need here is going to be our home page. So let's go ahead and label it. So let's name this home. And I'm just going to say publish. So that's done. I'm going to come back. Let's create another one. So this time I want to call this contact. So I'm going to say add new. So this one here is going to be our contact. I'm going to say publish. So far we have 2 pages. I want to do one more, and let's call this services. Again, I'm going to hit publish. Publish one more time. Excellent. So now we have 3 pages all created. So if you're wondering, how do we get this to work? If I refresh here, you're going to notice that we are not going to have our menu here the way we want it. That's because we haven't got a menu prepared yet. So this is what we are doing right now. We're preparing our menu. So these are the pages that we've created so far. Now I'm going to come to appearance and then click on menus. Let's name our menu. So let's call this main menu. And I want to make this the primary menu. So this is what you select and then hit create. Now we have a menu. And you can see all our pages are here. Sometimes the pages don't show, so you need to click on view all. So now we can see all our pages. I don't know why it duplicates the home here. It happens all the time. Maybe that's something WordPress needs to sort out. Okay, I'm going to now say add to menu. So now I have home, I have contact, and services. Great. I can hit save menu now. Now I want you to notice what happens. Before, this is the menu that we had. Right? It had all these extra links and so on. But if I refresh now, I've added specific pages to my menu, and here they are. Our home, contact, and services. We can also rearrange these. If you want the contact to be the last one, there we go. I can hit save. And now when I come over here and refresh, notice what happens. They're going to switch. There we go. So contact now is the last thing. So we can start designing our pages. So when it comes to designing our websites, There are many, many ways you can jumpstart this whole process. But if you started creating these from scratch, this is going to take you a very, 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 very long time. So what I've done is every time I design, I save everything to Divi Cloud. So I've actually got some sections that are all in Divi Cloud. So I want to show you how to create everything from scratch, and then I'm going to show you how quickly you can design everything using Divi Cloud. All right, so back over here, we want to work on our home page. So I'm going to come back to my, that's not what we want to do. We want to come over here. So let's go to our pages. So the very first page we need to start working on is the home page. So I'm going to say edit with Divi. The technique I'm going to show you now is very, very powerful because it allows us to go in and start designing our website super, super fast. So this is called designing with presets. All right, so I'm going to say build from scratch. So let's start here with a brand new section. So I'm going to click here on this plus button here. So we are going to go with full width. And let's add a full width header. Normally, this makes your design look really, really nice without doing a lot of customizations. So I use this full width header. This works great for your hero area. All right. So as you can see, everything is pretty basic here. So we want to start by working on our text here. So let me just go in and choose my Lorem font. So I use lorem2.com. And by the way, while this is loading up, there is a special summer sale. Divi has a 20% discount if you purchase Divi right now. So this is only 10 hours to go. So make sure you take advantage of this. And the good thing is, when you purchase Divi using my link in the video description, I have amazing bonuses for you. I give you courses that help you get started working with Divi super, super, super fast. So the course is called Divi Jumpstart. So this helps you design your website super fast because the process of designing websites can be a bit daunting because you have to learn the builder. There's so many things to learn because it's super complicated, because it's full of features. So what Divi Jumpstart does is it helps you find your way around and also helps you how to design your website super fast, as well as some templates that I'm also giving away to those of you that purchase Divi using my affiliate link. All right, so enough about that. I'm just going to copy a bunch of text here, which I'm going to use in my design. So I'm just going to copy that just to add onto my design here. So we want to come over here to the body text because this is where our body text is. Next, I'm just going to copy the first line here. I'm just going to cut it here and then add my title, just like that. Okay, so now you can see we have a title there. Shouldn't be too long, so let me just drill it down a little bit. Okay, so we have our text, we have our title, so pretty much we're good to go. But if you really want this to start looking nice right from the get-go, you want to come in here by clicking on this pencil icon and start working on your fonts. So I want to say, okay, I want to use Poppins like that. And I can also choose the font weight, so I'm going to make it bold and all caps. Next, I'm going to hover over here and go to the paragraph text. And again, you can see that this, by clicking here, and this is a quick tip, by the way, if you click here, it takes you directly to the item that you want to edit. So I'm going to come over here again and set my font as Poppins, select it. And I'm going to increase the size a little bit here because what I have is not good enough. Okay. Next, again, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to hover over here until I see this paintbrush little icon, click on it, and it takes me straight to my button styles. So now I'm going to say yes to use custom styles. Right. Now I want to choose my colors for my buttons. So I'm going to go with my text color as white. And then for my background color, I'm just going to use these colors for now and then show you how to change them later. Okay, so now that I have that, we also want to change our font here. So let's go with the Poppins just to make sure everything is, everything is looking great. All right, so now that I have that, I can now save. Now look at that. So that's the beginning of my hero area. But of course, this doesn't look great. It needs an image. And the image website I use is called Pexels. So let me show you where it is. There we go, Pexels. So while that is loading, any questions so far, guys? Just add them into the comments box below. And also, if you like what you're seeing, please add a thumbs up and also do share this video as well. I'd really, really appreciate it. All right, so now that I have this, what website should we build? Let's say it's a website to do with tech. So let's see what comes up when I search for technology. So I like something like gadgets, you know, stuff like that. Okay, I'll tell you what. Why don't we go with... Oh, you know what we can do here when you say explore? We have popular collections here. So if this website was to do with, say, you know, farming, you get a collection here which has all your farming videos. But over here we have technology. So I'm going to come over here now to all these. It's loading up. It's a bit slow. 3DP says, just got my Divi and I like it, and I like your knowledge of this theme. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. 3DP. Thank you very much. Okay, what's happening with our images here? Our site is very slow and sometimes it can be very annoying. Okay, while that's happening, let's come over here and do some customizations. Okay, so what you want to do is to make this full width. I'm going to come over here to my section settings, go to design, layout. Oops, I went into the wrong thing. I always do this when I use this tool here. Okay, so if you want to customize this, you want to come over here to the module settings. This is where you want to come in, okay? Go to design, layout, and now we have full screen. Okay, that is fantastic. We have a full screen, and when we come over here to image, let's go to our content, and then we go to images. We can add a header image here. We can add a background image. So we have quite a few options that we can use. So I'm going to come over here now and click on this plus button. Oh yeah, we have some images in here. So I can use one or two of these images. So let's go with this one right here. Upload image. And great, we have our image. But not so fast, because this doesn't look really, really nice, because over here, our background is competing with our text here. So this is something that you need to create, our contrast, okay? So to create a great contrast, what we need to do is to add a solid color. So I'm gonna add black. So notice what have happened. I went to my background color and added black, okay? Now, when I come back to my image, what you need to do is to come all the way down here to your blending mode, and we need to choose multiply. Sometimes soft light also works. Okay, so now that I've chosen soft light, it looks like everything is gone black. But if I come back to the background again, we can add some transparency. Now notice what happens. I'm just gonna drag the slider down and it's showing a little bit in the background. And now we've created better contrast. Now, sometimes what I also prefer doing is I delete this altogether and then I use a gradient. So if I come over here to gradient, click on this plus button. So what I normally do is I go for 90 degrees like that. So we have this these colors here. So I'm going to start here with black. And you can see I already have this effect over here. But over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to transparent. Okay, so black to transparent. That's because all my text is over here to the left. All right, great. Again, back over here on the design, the text here is going way too long. Okay, I don't want that. So what I need to do now is Demetrius says, I have a hard time understanding how to properly use the body in the theme builder. Okay, I'm going to cover that as well. No problem. Okay, right. So now we need to adjust this because this is quite long. Okay, so let's go to sizing. There we go. Content width. So we can bring it down. You can see there. So let's go with 60%. I think 60 works great. But what I prefer doing now is while I'm at this stage, I want to go to my mobile settings. So this is the habit that you need to do every time you design your websites, because you want to make sure everything looks great as you're designing them on the 3 different screens. All right, so now that I have this selected, I'm going to go to tablet. Let me see how it looks like on tablet. So we can see on the tablet here, there's no need to have this at 60%. So I'm going to stretch it all the way to 100%. And then over here on the phone, again, let's leave it at 100%. It looks great like that. But you can also do some exciting stuff. So you can align this to the center when it's on mobile. So to do that, let me just make sure that everything is great. So that looks nice. All right. So to do that, you come back to your main text here and say, all right, alignment. You go to your mobile and then make sure it's aligned center. Same thing. You come over here to the body text. Make sure you select this. It's on phone, align center. Same thing with the button. You come over here, click on this little icon, make sure you're on this phone, and then where's the center? Where's the center? It looks like it's gone. All right. It's weird. Oh, this is icon placement. That's weird. Button 1. Align. Where is it? Guys, I need your help. Where is the align? Can't find it. That's weird. I'm sure you could align this button. Okay, you know what? Let's leave this for now. We'll come back to it. I'm sure I will come up with that option. Okay, now let's save this. And let's change our view. So you can see now that's our hero area already designed, but you may want to add some text here, maybe make things slightly bigger. So I'm going to save this. Now, you notice that we took some time designing this, and it can be a bit, a bit crazy because when I design websites, the time I take designing can make this whole process daunting. So that's why sometimes I don't like designing websites. But the really exciting part is Divi Cloud. Divi Cloud is where you can save all your layouts and all your designs in the cloud, and then you just pull them as you need them. Now, let me show you how that works. So I already have Divi Cloud, and I really suggest that you also use Divi Cloud. All right, so to use Divi Cloud, what you need to do is to, of course, sign up for Divi Cloud, and it also has a discount. For those of you who are just joining us, Divi Cloud and Divi itself, they have a discount here, 20% off summer sale. The link to that is in the video description below. Make sure you sign up using that. You also get my bonuses. I give you some courses and help you how to get started super fast with Divi. The link to that, video description below. All right, so Divi Cloud. So Divi Cloud is like Dropbox, right? Where you save all your files. So let me show you how it works. I'm sure I'm logged in, but if you want to access Divi Cloud, you just click on this plus button and then go to add from library. And this opens up this interface here. Am I logged in? Now, if you want to know if you're logged in or not, you just take a look here over to the right, the top right, where I have my mouse over here. There we go. So I'm logged into Divi Cloud. You can see here it says, Augustine, sign out of Divi Cloud. So I don't want to do that, of course. So the advantage now of using Divi Cloud is you can save all your designs to Divi Cloud. And every time you want to use them, you can just go in and start pulling all your designs. So let me go for a light section so I can just show you how easy it is to pull my designs into my page. So what I'm looking for now is, let's put something basic. What should we put in? Definitely not FAQs. Okay, I want a section which has, let's see, okay. We have pricing tables. We have quite a lot going on here. I want our services, looking for services here. Okay, should we go with this one here? Okay, let's go with this one. Right, so I'm going to say use this section. So now this is pulling from the cloud. And the really cool thing about this is any website, Divi based, of course, you're going to be designing. You can access all these layouts on any website that you want to design. So this has taken the process of designing our websites super fast. Okay, check this out. So if I come back over here, boom, I have all my icons here in place and everything is ready for me. All I have to do now is to go in and change my font. So I'm going to come over here and keep an eye at this because I'm going to show you a tip while I'm designing this. So you notice that we have our body text here, right? I'm going to click again on this little paintbrush icon. Now it's taken me to my text settings, design settings. So first of all, I want to change my text font to Poppins. There we go. I've changed it. I also want to change the size to 16. The color is all right. I'm going to leave it as that. So if I hit save, notice what happens. If I create another section or another area where I need to design my site and add some more content, I want to add a text module here. So let's say I want to add more text. But notice what happens. It defaults back to my normal text, which means I have to keep on going here and then changing my text, going into pop-ins, blah, 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 blah. That is boring. So what you can do is if you already have something that here already set, you can click on it. And this is my paragraph text, by the way. So what I can do now is I can click on this drop down and say, create new preset from current styles. Okay, now keep an eye on this. This is very, very important. This is going to save you a lot of time. So again, I've gone into my text settings, clicked on this paintbrush tool, and now I'm on my text design settings. If you click on this little drop down here and say, create new preset from current styles, like that, notice what happens. It's going to say, preset name, I want to say paragraph. Because this is going to be my paragraph text. Now, since my paragraph text is going to be similar, I want to make sure that this is assigned to default. So every time I create a paragraph, it is going to become default. And the cool thing about this as well is, notice that we have a paragraph here. If I hit save like that, and I say yes, you can now see that it has taken all the settings. Yeah, it's okay. It has taken all the settings. So now my paragraph text is going to be similar as I'm designing this. Okay, so let me hit save and show you that this is super, super awesome. All right, so I'm going to delete this and create another one. So again, I'm going to add my text like that and say select. Now my paragraph text is going to be the same throughout my whole website. And if I need to change the color or the size at some point, the good thing is I can just go in and update that preset, and this makes it easier for me to have a consistent working website. Now, this doesn't just work with text. It works with every single module on your website. In fact, every single module that works with Divi. So I want to do this one more time with a button. Okay, let me show you how to do that. So we have a button here. The chat is so quiet, guys. Any questions so far? I feel like I'm going too fast or... Okay, anyway, we have a button here and we want to customize this. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to click here on module settings. Again, I'm going to go in and customize this. So let's go to our design and then we want to go to our button here. So we want to change the button color and change it to, what should we make the button color? Let's go with orange. Okay, and we also want to add our border here, like that. So the text also needs to change. So let's go in and change the text from Roboto to Poppins. Okay, so I have my text now as Poppins. And I also want to make it bold. So I'm going to come over here to font weight and change this to bold. Okay, so that's going to be my button. And now I can hit save. No, but before I hit save, now remember what we did here on our text. I can go back to my preset. Right now we're on default. Let's change this to create new preset from current styles. So I'm going to call this main button. Right, and I'm going to assign this to the default and then hit save. So now it's asking me if I'm sure. I can say yes. And then I can save changes. Okay, great. So my button now has been updated. So every time I need to add a brand new button now, notice what happens. So let's add a button. And here it is. Boom. Now it's taken on the color of the preset. So let's say you want to change the color of this button on certain pages or certain places of your design. Does that mean that if you change the color, it's going to update everything? The answer to that is no. Because right now in our button here, we can go in to a design button and change this to whatever color we want. So this time, let's go with red. I'm also going to do this for the border, and I can save, and everything is all good. But it just means that every time I add another button here, it's going to have our preset that we have over here. Now, the question is, what if you want to change the whole preset so that all the buttons change across the whole website? Well, if you want to do that, you want to click here on these three little icons. Edit preset style. And it's going to flip around. Now you have this gray item here. Okay. So what you can do now is to go to this design, and then you go to your button, and this is where you make your major change. Okay. So what I'm going to do here quickly is I want to change the hover. So this is the hover. Okay. So let's change this to red. And I'm also going to do the same over here. Okay, great. So I've changed the hover. So this has happened now globally. If I say yes, it's going to do that globally. Okay. So now you can see what happens when I hover. And let's add another button. There we go. And the hover has updated. So that is how you use presets. Oh, I see here we have a question. Yes, I do have a list of things that I'll be discussing. So I'll be going through these step by step as I'm working through this. We also have develop websites saying, when setting your presets, should you consider your mobile settings at the same time so you're good across all devices? Very, very good question. And the answer to that is absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. Because as you're designing this, I mean, the first time you start designing, it seems like a very, very long process doing this. But you only have to do it once and you're done. So if you're working on, let's say, your text and you want it to look a certain way across the whole website, you make sure that it looks great on your mobile devices, your tablets, and then save it as a preset. And the good thing is you can even have existing designs turned into presets. So let me show you how to do that. So I'm just going to delete this because I don't need this anymore. Now, guys, if you have any questions, keep them coming because it makes this very interactive as I'm designing this. Okay, so let's say you want this as a preset. In fact, let me just show you what this is. This is a blurb, okay? But you may not want this design, but you can also save this as a preset. And to do that, you just click on it. And then you want to come over here to your default preset and create a new one, okay? So that is how your presets work. So I was talking about how to use my Divi Cloud because that's where I saved everything. So let me show you again how to add another item here from my cloud. So to use Divi Cloud, you can just come over here, add from library, boom. And then choose what you need to add. So this time I need a doc section. So let's see what I'm going to choose from here. So this time I'm going to go with, should we go with FAQs? Okay, let's go with this one here. I'm going to say use this section. And in a moment, my layout now is going to be added. All right, so we have a question here. Brian says, I purchased Divi via you. However, despite many support tickets, no response. I never got the bonus training. Brian, normally this process of purchasing Divi through my affiliate link is automatic. You'll get an email and then you get a page where you register it. So if that hasn't gone through, definitely I'm going to follow up on my emails and make sure you get those bonuses. The bonuses are the course that you get for purchasing Divi using my affiliate link. Now, sometimes you also have a problem because the automation process doesn't work because people use two different emails. They use one email for purchasing Divi and then the other email for registering. So sometimes when there's two emails, the system doesn't, register. And this is why I have to go in and double check because it gets confusing sometimes. Okay. Patrick says, how do I get a refund on product? ITA. Okay, if you need a refund, that's not a problem. Just drop me an email and I'll refund that. So my email address is, in fact, let me add it here. mak@filestoincome.com. Okay, that's the email you need to contact me on. Michael Thompson says, I didn't get mine either. Okay, no problem. I'm going to follow up this as well and make sure that you get your bonuses. Develop websites also says the blurb images sometimes seem limiting. Do you buy other images at times to insert to replace the default ones? The blurb images, the blurb just works. In fact, let me just go here quickly and let's see. I'm just going to add a brand new section here. So let's add a blurb. And I'm going to show you 3 ways of using blurbs. Okay, so here's our blurb here. All right, so there's a few ways you can do this. So straight away, you can go to image and icon and add your image, just like that. So let's add this one here as our image. And our blurb is good to go. So that's one way. You can change your text here, make it bold. And maybe make your text bold as well. Okay, there we go. So that's style number 1, okay? Style number 2, again, let's add our blurb. This time, we're going to use an icon. Now, when it comes to icons, there's a ton of icons. Look at this. We can filter by solid icons, line icons, Divi icons, and Font Awesome. Now, I really like Font Awesome because it gives us quite a lot to choose from. So as you can see here, I can pretty much go through quite a lot and then choose the one that I want. So let's say I choose this bus here as my main icon. We can further design this, which makes it even easier to design. So if I come over here to image and icon, I can change the color to whatever color I want. And the really cool thing here is I can also customize the size. So you can see here, I've gone down to about 56. So that's another way of doing it. Third way. So as you can see, this blurb is very, very versatile. So I'm going to say blurb like that. Now check this out. I'm going to come all the way to the background and add an image. So you can actually have an image here in the background of my blurb like that. And then I can go in and customize my size. But I don't normally like to use the blurb this way. But if you want to be a bit more stylish here, what you can do is you can add some space around it. So I'm going to come over here to design spacing. And I'm going to add padding of, let's say, 5% all around. So these are, creative ways you can play around with your blurbs. And back over here on the contents, let's say I want to use an icon. Again, I'm going to go for the solid ones because I prefer using solid icons. So this time I'm going to go with, let's go with this basketball. Okay. And quickly go to our design here and change our width. Okay. So to further customize this now, what you can do is you can go to your background on your content here like that, and then add your background. So now you can choose your color. And just like that, I'm able now to go in and further customize this. And over here on the design, I can say, you know what? I want to have some rounded corners. I can add 6 all around. I can also come to my text. And notice that I'm using this paintbrush icon. It takes me directly to the item that I want to edit. So again, I'm going to say I want to use Poppins like that. And this time I want everything centered and the color needs to be white so I can read it easier. And then over here, I'm going to do the same thing again. Change this to Poppins like that. And then center it and make it white. There we go. But you know what? This needs to stand out. So let's make it bold and all caps. Okay, great. And then finally, over here, we have our basketball. We're going to make it white. And that's my blurb. So as you can see, these are 3 different styles I was able to pull out using my blurb. So it's very, very versatile. You need to experiment and see what you can come up with this. You can even add animations. You can just hover over it and it will expand, or you can make it shrink. You can add drop shadows. You can add animations. You can do quite a lot of things with these sections. Okay, so Brian says your request has been received and is being reviewed by our support staff. Okay, cool. Will a recording of this be available to share? Yes, this is going to be on our YouTube channel. So I'm going to leave it there. You can watch this as many times as you want. 3DP says, John Summers, I'm going to take a look at this as well. You have the same issue. 3DP says, why my Divi not have in the body text, visual or text? I just have text. What you need to do is you need to make sure that you are running the latest version of Divi. There may be a conflict with some plugins, but make sure you're running the latest version of Divi. If that still persists, you want to disable all your plugins and then refresh the website and see if that's going to show up. It should show up. There's no reason why it shouldn't show up. Okay. Okay. Let's continue on here so I can show you more ways of working fast using Divi. Okay, so I've shown you how to use our Divi Cloud. Brian, yes, I've been having issues with my support. I have a backlog and I have quite a long list of support tickets that I have to respond to. So if I haven't gotten to yours yet, that's the main reason. I'm not ignoring anyone. If you've purchased through my affiliate link or you've purchased a product from me, definitely you deserve that product because that's what you paid for. So I'm not in the business of scamming people or just taking money from people and not giving them what they paid for. That's not how I make my money. I try to do this very, very professionally and innocently. But as I mentioned in previous videos, I'm a one-man band, so trying to catch up with my emails and my support tickets sometimes can be overwhelming. So that's the reason why. And I am trying to improve this, by the way, and I've also mentioned this before in some other videos. So I'm really, really sorry about that, but I am going to catch up with that and respond to your all your emails. Okay. Let's have a look here. Right. We don't need this anymore, so let's delete this. Okay. So the question now is, we're designing this and our page here is looking great. What we can actually do here is we can save this whole page to the cloud. Now, this is super exciting because you can say, you know what, I want to use the exact same layout on another website. How do you do that? So to save it, you want to come over here to this plus button. Okay. Next, over here, you can hit this, these two buttons. And now you can say import to cloud, right? Or import presets. So this is pretty cool. You can import this whole layout that we've been working in onto your Divi cloud. So this is your space where you have all your layouts. All right, so pretty cool. Now, I want to show you something else that's pretty important. Chances are, if you're designing your website, you're going to need a blog. So you should not design your blog as, like page by page. In fact, you know what? Before I move on to the next item, question using the contact. Right, develop website says a question using the contact form where there is black background. When the form is sent, the confirmation message is dark and it gets lost on the page. Yes, so the confirmation, you may need to go in and customize that. Let me see quickly if we can add a contact here live as I'm working on this. Okay. So we have our contact form. So we're saying if we have a dark background, oops, let's put our background on our section because that's better. Okay, so we have our dark background. So I'm pretty sure now for our confirmation, if we go to design, title text, we have our capture. Okay, so I can see what you mean here. We don't have a way to customize our confirmation text. Not good. Okay, I have a workaround for you, develop websites. So what you need to do, instead of having a confirmation which has dark text or a dark background, what you may need to do is come over here and go to redirect instead. So just redirect this to a different URL. And on that URL is where you can add your message to say, thank you for sending your email, blah, blah, blah. And that should work much better because design-wise, I totally get it. It doesn't look great. It doesn't look great at all if you have dark text on a dark background. So I would say use a redirect, and that is where the option is. Right here, enable redirect, add your page, and that should work great, okay? All right, so let's go to our theme builder. So back over here on our dashboard. Now, when most people design their websites, what they typically do is they go to posts. Let's say they want to create a blog post, right? So we have hello world here, edit with Divi, right? So that's what most people do. They say, okay, I can see an option for the Divi builder, so I'm going to use it to design this particular blog post. Well, this is the wrong way of doing it, or not the correct way of doing it. What you need to do is you need to design this. You need to design this in the theme builder. Okay, so when it comes to blog posts, theme builder. Okay, so let me show you how to do it. You come over here, theme builder, because I know a lot of you don't use the theme builder. It's very, very powerful. So you want to come over here to add new template. So you can say build new template or add from library. So let's say add from library, and then we can just cheat a little bit and customize from the templates that we have here. So I want to filter this. So we only have two. So we have Mac template here. So I'm just hovering over it to see what this looks like. Okay, so this is one of my templates. So I'm going to go with this one. Select it, use this template. It says use with global template from, I'm going to say load. Okay, so notice what happens. We have a global footer here and a custom body. So now when you go into a custom body, this is where you can specify where you want your text to go. This is very, very important because as you're designing your page, you want to make sure that you have all the areas where your information is going to go. So you can see here, this is pre-designed for us. This is the main blog page, by the way. So actually, I loaded the wrong template. So all I have to do is to delete this. Let us build one from scratch. Okay, so look at all these pages here. These are all the pages that we can use for our blog post. So if I say all posts and create a template, now before I create a template, I want to show you what it looks like. This is what the blog post looks like. Pretty plain, pretty boring. Now, as I mentioned, you don't want to go in and start designing this with the theme builder straight away. I mean, with the Divi builder. You want to come over here to the theme builder. All right, so let's add our body content. So, build custom body. Yes. That's what we need to do. Now, this is going to make your blog post look amazing. You just do this once and everything is all done for you. All right, so let's start here with a single column. And here we're going to have some text. So this time now, I'm going to use something pretty exciting. Take a look at what happens here. I'm just going to delete all this text so you can see the icon I'm clicking on. So you notice this is dynamic content. This little icon here, I'm not sure if you can see it. Hopefully you can. I'm going to say use dynamic content. Boom. So we want the post or archive title. Boom. Okay. So this now is going to take on the name or the name of our blog post just by adding it as a post or archive title. Okay. So I'm going to save this for now because I'm going to come here to my section settings and go to my background and add a background color. Now, I want to design this very, very basic. I don't want to go in and make it very complicated, okay? So I'm going to go in and let's give it black. In fact, you know what? Let's give it gray. We've used black quite a lot, okay? I'm going to go with that. And then I'm going to go back in here and adjust my text. So now I'm going to go to design and make my text white, all caps, and increase the size. And you know what I'm going to do also? I'm going to add my spacing here. Maybe go with 3. We're also going to make this bold. Like that. Now, remember, web design websites also mention that as we're designing, is it a good idea for us to go in and make sure everything looks great on all devices? This is where now you come over here on this mobile icon. And I'm going to come over here now to my tablet. Now, right away, I can see I have a problem because my line height is not good. So I'm going to now fix my line height by setting this to about 1.2 or maybe even 1.3 EM. Okay. My letter spacing is fine. And then next over here on the phone, I want it centered. Okay. So I'm going to scroll down, make sure my text is centered, and I may want to reduce the size a little bit because that's a bit too much. So let's go in and add about 20, and that's already looking great, okay, for all my devices. So that's a good rule of thumb as you're designing. So I'm going to save that. Hang on. What happened here? Let's go back to our text. And okay, it's supposed to be aligned left, centered here, centered on the phone. Okay, fantastic. Okay, now I can save. All right, so now sometimes you may just need to go in and just double check and make sure everything is looking great. All right, so now I can now add a new section here. and say, okay, regular. And this time I'm going to add 2 columns. So on the left here, I'm going to add an image like that. But check this out. I'm going to make this a featured image. So I'm going to delete that. Click here on dynamic content and make sure it's a featured image. So this is going to take on the image of my featured image on my blog post. Okay, so now I'm going to save this. And then over here to the right, I'm going to add my text. Okay, in fact, this needs to be my post content. Okay, right. So now I can go in and just make sure that everything looks great. I'm going to go in and change this to Poppins because that's the font that I want. So I want all my headings to be Poppins and my paragraph text to be Poppins as well. So you're going to notice something really, really exciting here after I've customized this quickly. Okay, so notice that. Okay, so I've added my text that's going to go in like that. And then I can also add my comments. So I can add by clicking this plus button and single column. And I can also add my comments in here. So there we go. So just to show you that this is a much customized version, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this a background color. Again, we're going to give it a gray, very light gray, so you can see what is happening in there. So that's where my comments are going to be. I'm going to save that. All right. So remember, this is what our blog post looked like. So after these customizations, if I save this and close out of here and save one more time, I can now go to my posts like that. And once I've done that, I can go to Hello World, click on Edit. Now, this is very, very important. Take a look at what's happening here. When you hit Edit, you want to make sure that you return to default editor. You don't want to edit this in Divi, okay? So now let's just add some text here and pretend that this is our blog post. So I'll paste it in here. I know it looks pretty boring, right? Because this is the normal Gutenberg editor. Now, over here to my post, I can now add my featured image. I'm going to set my featured image. And I want to set it as this one right here, set featured image. And then I'm going to hit update. Okay, so now that I've updated this, notice what happens when I view my post. This is going to take in the design that we've just made. Now look at this. This is our hello world. That's our featured image. And this is now my text. And I have my comment box on the bottom. So every time now you design your website and you add new blog posts, they are going to have this layout throughout, making your website very, very consistent. Now, if you don't believe me, I'm going to do this one more time. I'm going to come back over here, add new post. Okay, so I'm going to say post 2, so you can really see the difference. I'm going to say use default editor. Now, this only happens on the blog post. Just remember that, default editor on the blog post, all right? So I've added my text. Next, over here now, I am going to go to my post. Make sure you're in the post tab. And then you come over here to your featured image and choose your image. So this time, I'm going to go with this image here, set featured image, and then hit publish. Okay. Now, again, I'm going to hit view post. Now, notice what happens. Boom. So my posts now have the same layout. Same layout. Isn't that amazing? If we needed to, we can add a title here. So we can remove it from there, bring it down here, and that's where our title is going to be. And this just makes designing your website super easy. Now, notice what's going to happen now. If I come back here and go to my theme builder, what is really directing and driving everything is this template right here. So let me go back in and because what I want to do is to customize the bottom here. Do you see this? This text here doesn't fit with our design. So I just want to customize this so you can see how it updates the whole website. Okay, so if I scroll down, okay, this is where we are. I'm going to say, oh, where's the option to edit? Okay, no problem. I'm going to come to my layers. I know it's the bottom section. Okay, comments. I'm going to click on this gear icon, and now I'm in my comments. Okay, great. So all you have to do now is to just go in and start changing your fonts. Right? So I'm going to say Poppins, and you can see there everything is changing super fast. Now notice what I'm doing. I'm clicking on the paintbrush icon. Boom, like that. Change my font. Change to Poppins. Again, submit a comment. Now, notice how fast it becomes. It's very, very exciting. Even my comments, I can go in. I can change the colors. And the form as well. I can go in and make changes to the form. Change my font, Poppins. Even the button there, I can design it. But of course, you know how to design buttons. I'm not going to waste too much time on that. Okay, so now I've saved that. But the problem now is, how do you know, or how do we scroll to the other posts? So let's add another row here. So these are called posts navigation. There we go, post navigation. So you can add your post navigation here. And so let's call this previous. And then, oh, so this one here is previous, and then this one here is next. Like that. So what I can also do is to customize this text by coming over here. And we're going to change this to Poppins. We're going to make it all caps. And let's make it bold as well. Great. So now we can cycle through, and all this is happening on my template, by the way. This is my template. Okay, guys, save and exit. Okay, so you can see here, I'm in my Divi theme builder, and these are the templates. So if I come here now and refresh, I want you to see what happens. Our text here is going to change, and we're also going to have our navigation. So I'm going to refresh, and this is happening live. Okay, now when I scroll down, you notice we have previous, boom. It takes me to my previous post, and this is the hello world. There we go. And I also have next over here to the right. And this is cycling through my comments, and my comments here are also have the same font. Okay. Develop websites also says here, I love your Blogger Pro templates. Can you edit your build a template to make drop shadows on all images and make that automatic when placing every image? Yes, presets. To do that, you just need presets. Okay, now let me do a quick example here. Let's go to a page that we're working on. Let's go to the home page. Now, I know you're going to get confused because when it comes to pages, we are using the Divi builder, but when you're doing blog posts, we just use the Gutenberg editor. So don't forget that. All right, so images, drop shadows throughout the whole website, no problem. So what you do is, let's add regular section. Okay, 2 columns, and let's add our image module. Okay, right, so let's just choose an image. We're gonna go with something like that. All right, so now we have our basic image. So what we can do is add all our styles that we need. So I'm gonna come over here, go to my design. Where's my drop shadow? There we go. So there's our shadow. I know it's very subtle, so I'm going to exaggerate this so that we can see the difference. Okay, guys? So please don't comment on my design here. So you can see here that our drop shadow there is very visible. I'm only doing this for demo purposes, by the way. Okay, so our drop shadow there is visible. So all you have to do now is to go to your default, create new preset. So I'm just going to call it drop shadows. Okay. And assign. Okay, in fact, this one here, I won't say assign to default. I'm just going to say save changes. Okay. So that's my preset. So when I come over here now and add another image, like that, choose my image. This time I want to go with that one, upload image. So you notice that it doesn't have the shadow. Do you see that? No shadow. So what you can do now is to come over here to this drop down of your preset and then choose this one. Boom. And now you have your shadow. So that's one way you can do it, or you can save this as the default preset, which means every image that you're going to add is going to have that drop shadow. Okay, so that is how we do that, and that's the answer to develop websites. Okay, so Epa says, can you make a menu with a full width image at the top and make the menu stick when you scroll down? Yes, you can, but I highly recommend that you do not add images to your main header, because that's the first part that your website code is read. It's going to make your website very slow, right? You don't need images in your header. The header has to be as plain as possible. And remember, when we design websites, the whole point of our site is communication. We want to communicate our message on the page as easy and to read as possible, and make it as easy to read as possible. I mean, look at all these famous websites, the Apple website, you know, Nike, you go to any Microsoft, all these websites, they do not have images on the header. There's a reason for that. And there's also a reason why a lot of the websites you see are very simple. It's so simple that it's boring, but it's very, very easy to understand. So even if you look at the templates I have here, they look very basic. So one can look at this and say, this is very, very boring, right? And I agree. But the whole point of this is to make this very, very easy to follow, very, very easy to understand, and easy to communicate. Okay? So you can do that. In fact, let me show you quickly where you would do that. So I'm going to come over here to my dashboard, save and exit. And I'm going to go to my theme builder and show you where I can do that. So I'm going to come over here to theme builder. So click here and say build global header. And then in this section here, you go to your background and add your image. Okay, so that's your image in the header. Then you can start adding your menus. So I'm going to say menu. There it is. And then you can further customize your menu. So let's go to our text. There we go. So our text now is visible. I'm just doing this fast so you can see how easy it is to add your image to the background. Okay, so now that I've added that, I'm just going to close out of here, save changes. Now we have a global header, which means if I go to any page on my site and refresh, we now have this image in your header. But do you see how distracting this is with that image there? Not very good. But anyway, it is what it is. If this is how you want to do it, that is exactly how you do it, okay? But I'm going to delete that. Okay. All right, so I think I've been live for for just over an hour. Do we have any more questions here that I can answer quickly? In fact, you know what, guys? I'm going to be doing more of these live workshops with Divi to help those of you that have just bought Divi, make it easier for you to work with Divi. Now, before I forget, I'd also like to remind you that Divi has a special discount. It's 9 hours to go now. This discount is super awesome. It's 20% off, and this is the only opportunity that you have to get Divi at a cheaper price, okay? 20% off. This is the lifetime deal. Now, check this out. If we come over here, as I mentioned, this is the summer sale, 20% off, and it is 40% off of Divi Cloud, okay? So you want to make sure you also get Divi Cloud. And there's also other items in the marketplace which are up to 50% off. So this is super awesome. This is 9 hours to go, so make sure you grab this. I'm going to have a lot of tutorials to help you out, get up and running fast. I'll be doing more of these live shows. You see, the challenge that I was having was I had to redo my studio. I'm not in England at the moment, so things have been very hectic, right? So needed to set up my studio. I had missing things. I had to get things sent over from England because I'm going to be here in Harare for about 2 more months and then go back to England. So just having everything all in the right place and all set up correctly has been a headache. And this is why even when it comes to the support, it hasn't been very good. I mean, I must admit, and I know it sounds stupid to apologize every time, but yes, that's the problem that I'm having right now. But I've got all the kit that I need now. Everything has been sent over. I have my cameras, my lights, and I'm just going to soundproof my studio, and pretty much I'm going to be good to go. But as I mentioned, I'm going to be doing a lot more of these live workshops now since my studio is complete. So you're going to get a lot of support when you purchase Divi using my affiliate link. It's going to give you access to a full course called Divi Jumpstart. It's going to help you get up and running with Divi very fast. And all these upcoming features that come, I'll be talking about them, making it easier for you to work with Divi. All right. Karen says in the header, is it better to put the logo in the image module or in the menu? Oh, very good question. Now, I use both methods. Sometimes I just add the image and set it as a logo. And sometimes I just use it in the menu. So it doesn't really matter which way you do it, but the easiest will be in the menu. Because once you set up your logo, then it just shows up in the menu itself, and you can also go in and adjust it. So, but if you want precise settings, then you can have the image on its own as the logo, and then have the menu on its own as the menu text only without the logo. So, but either way it works. China News 24/7 says, hey mate, I want my free course as you said, bought Divi. Yes, definitely you get your free course. Just please, because I'm going to do this today. So please just drop me an email, because if you send me an old email, it's probably going to be buried amongst so many emails. So please, I'm just adding my email here. Funnels to income.com. Okay, so please send me, those of you that bought Divi using my affiliate link and did not get the course yet, please drop me an email to this email address, and I'll have it sorted either today or tomorrow, because it's getting late now. So today or tomorrow, you will get that, okay? Let me see. Okay, looks like I've covered all the emails. Yep. All right, guys. So thank you very much for hanging out with me. This was my first live stream. Was it first or second in Harare? The first time I did my live stream, it was terrible because, things didn't work out. The internet was very slow and I wasn't able to do it. But now things have been very stable. So you will be getting a lot of support, a lot more tutorials. In fact, there was one point I was doing a lot of tips and tutorials on a daily basis for almost 3 months consecutively. I want to go back to that because my passion is creating content and helping you guys become better web designers. And this is why if you purchase Divi using my affiliate link, it's an investment because you are going to see a lot of tutorials from me going forward. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. If you want to watch this, if you're late to the show, it's going to be on my YouTube channel, so you can always go back and watch it. And like I said, 20% off Divi lifetime, Divi summer sale. So when you purchase that, you'll get access to my free courses and a lot of goodies as well. All right, guys, thank you and see you in the next one. Take care.